Hello everybody, it's Joe here, and welcome to today's upload. And today, I'm going to be going through with you a few things I would like to see in the new F1 23 game. There's some cat fur stuck to me there. So, I know that a few of these may not be feasible due to licensing issues or other reasons, but this is just a list of personal things I would like to see in the game. Like, it's just my own personal list. Take from it what you will. Agree and disagree with what you will. Yeah, let's just get on with it, shall we? And the first thing is red flags. Now, we get yellow flags, we get safety cars, we get virtual safety cars, but we don't see a red flag. Now, especially in the cases of races where there's an incident and the track is partially blocked. Like, think, I don't know, a big incident at Baku blocks half the track. Surely that's got to be a red flag, right? And that would make for an interesting addition to the game as well, because that would be another thing that you got to think through when going into your race strategies. So definitely an interesting implementation, because you would also have to rethink through your race strategies, and it would be more realistic as well. So it'd be great to add that. Number 2, the ability to spectate a race, especially in My Team career mode, after you've had to retire. Now, this one goes out for all the creators out there, because I see you out there. I see a lot of people out there that do My Team career mode content, and they do it as immersive as they can, so it almost looks like a real F1 Grand Prix. And to keep up with that element of realism, they show us up and down the field all kinds of action with the AI, and that is something I'm starting to really implement into my career mode. But this is the thing. If you have a car failure during the race, or you make a mistake and crash out, I mean, skill issue, right? Get good. But say that happens. You then lose the ability to watch the rest of the race. It's simulated, you see nothing, and sometimes the results do quite significantly change, and you wonder to yourself, how did that happen? Well, we'll never see it now. That is why I'd like to see a feature where, especially in the case of My Team career mode, or any career mode if you're doing a driver career mode series, hey, either's good. But if you're doing a career mode series, I'd like to see it implemented into the game where if you have to retire or you crash out, it does give you the option to watch the rest of the race unfold. I think that would be a cool addition to the game, and that is something I would very much like to see. Next thing I'd like to see is, I know we've got F2 cars, but I would also like to see F3 cars in the game. Now, while the supercars in F1 22 were a nice touch, it does, in my opinion, have a certain feel of, well, yeah, that's great, except nobody asked. You know, it's a nice enough touch, but I feel like if we were to add F3 cars into the game, it would just add something a bit more to it, and you could capture that feeling of working your way through F3, then moving up to F2, you know, working your way through the ranks to get to the pinnacle of motorsport. And I feel like that would be another cool touch for the game. So I would like to see F3 cars personally. Another feature I'd like to see is reserve drivers. You know, if one of your main drivers has to sit out for whatever reason, a reserve driver stands in. And I think this would be a cool feature to add, again, especially in the case of My Team, because then you could obviously race yourself, you can have a teammate, but you could also have a reserve driver. So if your teammate, for example, has other commitments, falls ill, gets injured in the story of the game, you know, you can call upon a reserve to stand in for a race. Now, again, I know that that's a difficult feature to implement and probably wouldn't happen, but I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it. Again, it's just for that realistic touch, because you do see IRL drivers standing out and reserve drivers stepping in. We all remember George Russell at Sakir, right? Another feature I'd like to see is a more customizable season with career mode / My Team career mode, and the ability to choose which races you have as sprint races. Now, sprint races debuted in the game last year, And I feel like they should have debuted in F1 21 because that's when the first season we had them. But they debuted in last season and are a great feature to have into the game. But I would like to be able to customize seasons a bit more and have a flexible choice on when you have the sprint races. Let's say you're limited to the number of sprint races that you have in that season. I'd like the ability then to be like, okay, this is when I'd like the sprint races. I mean, hey, even if someone wants to decide, well, I'd like a sprint weekend every weekend, again, that would be cool, But just have it more customizable, and a couple of additional tracks to add to the season would be nice so that you can really change your season up year by year. Again, licensing issues means that a lot of tracks probably wouldn't be available to them, but hey, it would be a nice touch. I know it's not realistic, but I personally feel like it would be a cool touch to have, to be able to fully or have more customizable choice over your season and the choice of where you have sprint races. And hey, if you're one of those people that wants to turn sprint races off, then you would have that choice available to you too. In addition, I'd like to see a better variation in how many races you can have in a season. Like, for example, the last couple of games have been for 22, 16, 10. Let's add a couple more options in there. So let's have, for example, 10, 14, 16, 18, or the full season. Again, it just makes it that little bit more customizable. And finally, another thing I'd like to see is the potential implementation of team orders. This could go with Grand Prix mode, career mode, or My Team career mode, where if you're stuck behind your teammate, you have the option to ask your engineer if they can get your teammate out the way, especially if you feel you're quicker. There's nothing worse than getting stuck into a race and you end up stuck behind your teammate who then starts defending like crazy and you lose time, especially when you feel like, especially in career mode where you've got the pace to really make a charge on the guys ahead, but you're getting held up by your teammate. So that's an option I'd like to see in the game. Well, that's it for things I'd like to see in the game. I would also like it to be a bit more bug-free than F1 22 was, but you can't have everything. But what do you want to see in the next game, guys? Let me know in the comments box below. I'm very interested to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to leave a like, hit the subscribe button for more content from me. Until the next time, I've been Joe, TTFN, guys. Love you all.